Hi, this is Priscilla Perkins. I'm going to give you a brief video tour of the English 102 syllabus for the online version of the course. I'm not going to focus on everything on the syllabus. I do want you to make sure you read the whole syllabus carefully on your own and get in touch with me about any questions that you have. I'm going to focus mostly on the parts that are highlighted in colors. The first thing to talk about in green is the format for a class like this. Week by week asynchronous learning. What that means is that each week we have a defined set of tasks that you need to do. There are deadlines for each task, but you can control when during the week you do those tasks for the most part. Sometimes there are a couple of deadlines during a week. The fact that you are doing it on your own schedule is what makes it asynchronous. That means we don't all have to be online at the same time. I have office hours officially Monday and Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. But for an online class, it's pretty easy to get a hold of me by emailing me. That's my preferred mode of contact. You can make an appointment to come in and physically meet with me. Email me for that. But I can also confer with you over email online during the office hours. So that's a good time to try to get my undivided attention, as it were. If you do decide to visit, my office is Auditorium 576D. That's by the Wabash elevators in the auditorium building. Here in Aqua, you can see the course requirements and point values for English 102. The major assignments for the class are 3 essays. The first 2 are fairly low stakes. Each one's worth a possible 10 points. The third one is a much more high stakes assignment, but you have several weeks to do it. The rest of the points in the class come from the work that you do every week on discussion boards, peer revision activities, and other small assignments. Those activities basically take the place of what we would call attendance in a regular writing class. There's also a final exam on ideas in our textbook. So you have a lot of incentives to carefully read what's in the textbook, and the final exam is one that has points attached directly to it. I'm going to go over these course policies in coral or salmon or whatever you call this color. The first one is very important. They're all very important, but in order to be eligible for the full number of points on any graded essay in this class, you have to complete all of the drafting and revision activities that are required in the schedule. Some people might think that they can skip some of that work and still do a good paper, and maybe that's true, but you are not eligible for all the points if you do it that way. I create detailed rubrics to evaluate student writing. Each one is created for a specific assignment, and I put comments on the rubrics, comments about content, but also about your writing style and issues of sentence structure, punctuation, word choice, dialect, and other issues on the rubric. It's your responsibility to follow up on my recommendations with independent work. You can work with your usage guide from English 101, if you have one. You can look up the issues that you're having on the Purdue Online Writing Lab. You might do better, though, with a tutor from the Roosevelt Writing Center. And remember that you can go for face-to-face tutoring, or you can sign up for online tutoring. You can also, as I suggested earlier, have a scheduled appointment with me, either face-to-face or online during my office hours. I'm going through all of these options because I want you to keep in mind that by the end of the semester, you need to show control over disruptive patterns of error, like sentence fragments, subject-verb agreement, other things that make it hard to read your writing, in order to pass the course with a C-, which is the lowest passing grade. So it's really important for you to start working on these issues as soon as they're identified. I'm always happy to work on them with you. So please take advantage of my tutoring know-how. In an online writing course, as I suggested, you attend by participating actively and thoughtfully in each week's course activities. Most important are the discussion forums and peer revision. In this course, if you disappear, like if you don't do required activities for a total of 3 weeks worth of work, you can fail the course, even if your work for the course has been passing so far. Likewise, because active participation in peer revision is part of each paper's grade, being unprepared and or not offering your partners timely and adequate feedback will cause you to lose points from your own paper grade. I take this really seriously, so please ask if you have questions about this policy. Your Roosevelt email account is the official and sole address for communications between the university and you. I think that's in the student handbook. In any case, I don't respond to messages that are sent from other addresses. I often don't even see them because they get caught by Roosevelt's spam filter. If you're having trouble making your Roosevelt email account work, let me know, and I will help you find the right person to talk to. This part in purple is about values, what's important in this class. A core assumption of English 102 is that people continually need to consider what's important to them if they want to live together in peaceful, democratically organized communities. That means listening calmly with an open mind to ideas that differ from your own. And you will encounter a lot of ideas that differ from your own in a class like this. Disagreement is unavoidable. Sometimes it's unpleasant, but it can be really productive if we deal with each other with respect. So if I notice that anyone is disrespecting other people's identities in their communications for this class, I will contact that person and we will talk about how we create and maintain a welcoming learning environment. Everybody needs to be treated with respect. Finally, the last page of the syllabus has a tentative schedule, and basically what that means is that there's a lot of detailed information on this schedule, but it's open to revision as needed to make the class work better. If I do change anything in the schedule, I will announce the change and I will post a revised syllabus on Blackboard so that you're never confused about what work you need to do. If you do find yourself confused about anything, please get in touch with me. I'm really eager to work individually with students to make a good learning experience for you. So it's a two-way street, obviously, but I'm ready to do my part. I think that's it for this online tour of the syllabus for English 102. If you have questions, please email me. Otherwise, let's get ready to work.